What up, y'all? So I want to talk about the things I learned after seeing the Marvels movie. Now, there is a narrative going around that this is a bad movie.
Are you serious?
This movie ain't no good just because the critics are rating it low and because this is the lowest opening MCU movie of all time. The movie was not that bad.
Stop the cap.
Okay, it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad, honestly. It was like a C movie. I gave it a C+. And this movie had a lot of strong elements, especially the beginning. The beginning started off very strong. When Kamala came in, they gave us a lot of elements from the Miss Marvel series, how they did the comic look and all that. And honestly, Kamala carried this entire film. She did an amazing job. I gave her specifically an A+ because she carried this entire film. I would love to see a direction where Marvel takes her, kind of like in the post-credits, takes her and starts to build everything kind of maybe around her and like that kind of post-credit scene, because she's just so enthusiastic about what she's doing and you can see the passion involved. She held the movie together, held it down. Honestly, this just could have been a Miss Marvel movie and I'd have been fine with that. That was really strong, especially the early fight scene. I mean, that must have took some choreography for real when they jumped over here, they was fighting here, then switched places. Great scene. And I really sat there and I was thinking, all right, if the rest of the movie is going to be like this is going to be fire. And then it like proceeded to go in all these different directions. Honestly, we could have did without that whole singing people on the planet thing. That was extra cringy, extra whack. They should have cut that out immediately. That was unnecessary. It had nothing to do with nothing. It didn't help nothing. They was trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny. And I did hear that they cut it down some. Like there was parts in the trailer that I saw before that wasn't in the film, but they needed to cut it all the way. That took a lot away from the movie. That and the whole cat thing. They should have took the cat thing completely out. Take the cat thing out. Yeah, and as somebody who has cats, nobody wanted to see the cat licking himself. Like this, it was just unnecessary. And it was going on, it was just too cringy. That was unnecessary. I don't even like to watch my own cats do that. It was whack. Here's the biggest problem with the MCU right now. None of this stuff is connected. We're already in phase 5 and none of these things are connecting. Nothing. There's nothing connecting right now. The biggest pull and the biggest draw for audiences with the MCU is how you know that they were going to somehow fit it in like a puzzle piece where, all right, this character did this. So the next time we see the character, they're going to at least address what happened here. They're not doing any of that. At this point, I feel like they're intentionally not connecting other parts of the universe. It's like they're going out their way to make sure that it's like this is a standalone thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that person might have been in something else, but this is its own thing. That's not why we all signed up for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, did we enjoy the movie? Yeah. But we signed up because of the connection. We signed up because of its intended draw and reach and the bigger storyline. Not for this to then be all thrown away on the last 2 phases, which almost seem pointless in regards to the multiverse story, unless they're just over here telling scattered stories, which nobody asked for. I mean, with the last 2 phases, it just hasn't been that quality. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are talking about this superhero fatigue, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's really superhero fatigue. It's just that we want it done the right way. You know what I mean? So they're making enjoyable movies to, you know what I mean, to an extent where people are still having fun watching them, but they're not giving the hardcore fans why we're invested, because everything is supposed to connect. They didn't touch on Nick Fury, that whole thing about Secret Invasion. What they even do Secret Invasion for? It was like it didn't even happen. They didn't address anything about like how the president at the end was talking about we hunting all the scrolls down. None of that was addressed in the film. Captain Marvel, none of the scenes that tied in from Shang-Chi, none of that's been addressed in none of this stuff. All this, Ant-Man, all this going on with Kang, all this stuff with Loki. Nobody knows that any of this is going on. How does nobody even know that Kang is around? Nobody knows he's around except for Ant-Man. And how does Ant-Man not tell anyone? Like nobody knows that Falcon's Captain America. Nobody's talking about that. Ant-Man didn't call him up. Nobody's talking to anyone. Hulk didn't contact anybody. Thor, nobody. Captain Marvel didn't call anybody when she came back to the planet. She just called Fury, who's not even on the planet. What, they all teamed up against Thanos and then everybody's like, all right, cool. You go your separate way, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'll talk to you whenever. We ain't cool no more. This was just an almighty team up, and it's over now. Like y'all ain't cool. So Ant-Man just writing books and he not talking to nobody. I feel like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make sense. Like, everybody just went their separate ways after Endgame. Tony died, right? And then everybody's just like, well, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and do my own thing. You know, I don't care what y'all doing. Cool, y'all still gotta fight? Cool. I'm gonna be over here either not fighting, relaxing. I mean, come on. Seriously. Rhodey got captured. Now that Rhodey's out, nobody addressed the fact that Rhodey was captured. Nick Fury didn't address anything about Rhodey. He didn't call anybody. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just don't make sense. And that's the frustrating part of the MCU right now, is that a lot of this stuff is going on and it just don't make sense why nobody else knows about it. I don't understand why they just waiting for Secret Wars in order to make everything connect. Why are they waiting so long just for one movie to make everything connect? They're probably going to drop a whole bunch of these storylines off and we're not going to get any closure to anything. It's just Guardians by itself. Oh, these are like separate movies. We really don't want to tie them in. Thor: Love and Thunder by itself. All this stuff is kind of like by itself, and they're giving us these lesser than top-notch characters to try to connect things when, you know, the main characters, there's a lot going on that needs to be addressed that the main characters can be addressing. People came to see the Marvels. If you just wanted everything to connect to the post-credit scene, then just make a post-credit scene, throw it out on Disney Plus as like a, 10-minute special and be done with it. Why make a whole movie where the movie really didn't even have nothing to do with nothing except to set up the post-credit scene? Another big thing from the movie is Captain Marvel, and why does she have a bangle at the end of the movie? Kamala is the one that is supposed to be using the quantum bands. She said she was built for this, etc., etc. So why did she then have to give up one to Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel's already OP as is. Why does she need a band? So that wasn't explained. She just had a band. They both just had a band, but they could be connected anyway. Plus now they know each other. They can just call each other on the phone. There really was they did not explain why she needs the other band. They didn't even say, well, let's keep the band separate, to blah, 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 so people can't find the band. That wasn't even addressed. None of it. So they need to do a better job of connecting all this stuff. And after the amazing season that Loki had, which I'm getting into another video about Loki specifically, we need something more. And we don't want to have all these characters giving us all this great work and then nobody referencing them ever again. They didn't even reference the Guardians of the Galaxy. All this stuff is going on, so nobody knows anything that's going on. I don't understand what's happening here. What do you think some of the faults are with the MCU right now? These are some of my complaints. I'm sure there are other people's complaints because I talk about it all the time with other people. Have you lost faith in the MCU? The only thing that's coming next year is Deadpool. Right now on the slate is Deadpool as far as movies is concerned. So I mean, unless they really are making Deadpool 3 like the end all be all of connections for everything, which it could be, it really could be. But unless they do that, I mean, this whole phase 5 will be for nothing. Phase 4 is almost for nothing. We need that back. Help us out, MCU. You're putting out decent films, but you're not giving us why we fell in love with the MCU in the first place. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. Let's talk about it, all right? So look, I appreciate you stopping by. I got more reactions, discussions, news, everything's coming on the way. If you like the content, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss out, all right? And until next time, please, please, please be safe. And remember, always speak your truth, all right? I'm out.